Welcome to Discover Greater Lansing. Whether you're exploring the rich history of the state capital or indulging in incredible local food, there's always something exciting happening here. Discover living. Discover mobility. Discover downtown. Discover giving back. Greater Lansing offers breathtaking activities and outdoor adventures, ensuring a perfect balance of city life and natural beauty. Discover the warmth. Discover the charm. Discover Greater Lansing. The journey begins now.
Hello and welcome back to another great edition of Discover Greater Lansing. I am thrilled today. We're going to talk about everything, all the excitement that's happening in Lansing. And we've got our two foremost ambassadors, Julie from Choose Lansing and Kathleen from Downtown Lansing. And it's all Lansing all the time, and we extend to Greater Lansing, so we get everybody that makes up this great community. So welcome. We're going to hear everything that's happening there. You cannot drive down a street without something happening, and that to me means excitement. It means growth. Julie, what are you doing? You're just beaming because this is what you're all about, right?
Right. You know, we are the destination marketing organization for the community, and all we want is for new things to show off. And so to get people to get excited about this community, whether they're hearing about it, they see social media clips about it, they see a commercial, whatever that may be, that gets their interest up in coming to our community. And we do represent the Tri-County area, but a lot is focused on this urban corridor of our capital city and our Big Ten University. A lot of synergy in those areas and a lot of things that we do focus on that, but we also promote a lot of the outlying areas like Mason and Grand Ledge and Okemos and Williamston, all those great communities that offer so much to make our community really well-rounded and offer something for everyone. And I think what we see when we try to bring in conventions and meetings and sporting events and visitors of all kinds is that we're looking for those new things to see, do, and experience. And so the downtown area has had to reposition a little bit lately, and we've worked in partnership with many stakeholders in the community and trying to tell that story of what's happening next and what's going to be the next great thing for our community for people to experience and enjoy and understand who we are as a destination, but who we are as a community more importantly, and maybe they'd like to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And that's, when you think about it, you know, we always talking about the capital and downtown, it's like spokes of a wheel, because this all makes our economic destination, everything is working together. And we've got downtown Lansing, which is, after my heart and soul, because I am downtown Lansing. And just to see the transformation, Julie and I were talking earlier about change and evolution, and, you know, throw in a pandemic, and, you know, we're over that now, and how we position ourselves not only for today, but for the future. And I know you're all about that, Kathleen, about having that vision and about representing us so well when you go out and about. So what's downtown looking like now?
Yeah, as Lansing's downtown management agency, we are very excited with all of the progress and the meaningful momentum that is currently underway, as well as planned for the next couple of years. Progress takes patience, and there have been a number of projects, new developments, new businesses coming into the heart of Michigan's downtown that have been dreams and plans over the last up to 5 years. And now they are no longer just plans or dreams. They are actual projects underway, cranes in the sky, dust and lots of dirt being dug up, but a lot of excitement too. The skyline is changing. We have an almost 30-story tower, residential tower, coming on Grand Avenue. And speaking of Grand Avenue, that brings with it 3 other projects, 2 that are housing, a new city hall. We've seen the ongoing construction of the Ovation that joins Gray Wall Hall is a fantastic entertainment venue and space for events, meetings, things of that nature. And then we have the additions of new housing developments. Of course, like I mentioned, that 30-story tower, almost 30-story tower, as well as other ones from the Lansing Housing Commission. Yes. And then we have other new businesses as we continue to diversify the offerings that can be found in Michigan's downtown, and the number of people and places who call downtown Lansing their home, and hopefully will for years to come as well. Looking at the number of projects, I think there's close to 20 that are planned over the next 2 to 3 years, bringing over $628 million of investment. That means enhancing our culinary scene with projects like the Mikata Club and so much more. It's really an exciting time.
It is. I'm excited just sitting here. I've got chills up and down. And it is, I just love it. And I love how, I don't know, I've been here since 1991. I'm a transplant, but you know, I've got natives that I birthed here now. So, and it's just, I've never seen a more dynamic time in that last couple, 3-4 decades. And it is exciting. And it takes partnerships, and that's what I love on this show, how we bring people together, and something will spark. And long after, or like we're done taping the show, you guys will pick up something and go, hey, let's talk about this. And I think it's just so exciting. And that's what makes Lansing a community, is that that small town feel. We know a lot of people, like you see them everywhere you go, and then we're doing it. It's not somebody else coming in and doing it for us. We're doing it, and we're doing it right here. And Julie, you're doing it. We're doing it, and then you're going out and telling people about it.
Right.
And I love it, because that is so important to our economy. And the life stream of, and that's why we're not going to minimize the importance of a downtown. It really is the heart of a region, right? And especially if you put a Capitol building there. And as Julie points out, in a university, a Big Ten university, right down. And people, when I go out, are confused. They're like, you have an East Lansing and a Lansing? And I said, yeah. Well,
We've had visitors ask us that, like,
Yes.
how far away is East Lansing from Lansing? It's like, well, they share a border, so
Yes,
not
yes.
very far apart at all. So.
yeah, one's a campus town, one's a capital town. It's all
just blends in together,
and
really.
it makes it wonderful, and a wonderful experience for people. And you talked about the developments, and Julie she hit on something a while ago. She said, we can't just build for today.
Correct.
We've got to look for tomorrow, and those really pivotal, dynamic things that happen that we perhaps don't have control about. And we've mentioned it 3 times. I don't want to say that word again, that happened in 2020, but how we anticipate, and especially Kathleen, how do you anticipate as a business owner, the business needs and how the business works with you to make our downtown vibrant?
As we look at the future visioning and strategic planning for downtown Lansing, it really is critical to hear the voices of the businesses, of the residents who make up our downtown community, work with our community partners like Choose Lansing, the Chamber, the property owners and developers, of course, our city administration, because it really is all about the balance and coming together and saying, what do we want for Michigan's capital city? What do we want for Michigan's downtown? And again, balancing, as you said, those needs of today, but also what can succeed and take root long into the future. And we're seeing that with the riverfront developments that have been taking place over the last 10 plus years, from the River Trail, it's beloved and used year round, to the newer additions like Rotary Park and upcoming Brecken Fish Ladder. Those projects are creating spaces for people to just be together and connection points. And as a centrally located downtown, what happens here matters. We're always asked at Downtown Lansing, and I'm sure Choose Lansing and others are asked this every day, like, why does what's happening in downtown Lansing matter to the rest of the state and beyond? And it's because it has so many connection points and is such a critical center, urban city center to our city, to our region, and to our entire state. We house 3 branches of state government. We house 2 local colleges. We are immediately adjacent to a Big Ten university, have the #1 science center in the nation, and such a diverse mix of businesses, of flavors, and people who call this community their home. So having those connection points from Old Town, downtown, to Reotown, to East Lansing, and having that riverfront be a central part of it is something that's, I think, going to be a really pivotal part of the future of downtown Lansing and across our whole city and region as well.
Absolutely. So you two must be besties, because what she's doing really matters to what you're doing, and vice versa. Because as we spoke before, it's not just about, hey, come see our region, come and visit. No, people live, work, and play here, and we want them to continue, and for our young talent to not, jet off to Chicago or somewhere else. We need that talent right here in our own communities, and the synergies that must exist between the two of you. That's just awesome, because where you go, therefore our region goes. To introduce that kind of that balancing out, Julie, the balancing act between, hey, let people see our assets here, let people enjoy it, and then, hey, people who live here, stay here and grow your families here. So you must have that balance in mind continually.
I mean, as downtown Lansing and our region transforms, our organization has transformed. I've been with our organization for an awfully long time, and when we started, we marketed what we had. And that's what what we were given basically. And now over time, and it's not just here in Lansing, it's throughout the country that organizations like ours, we know what visitors are looking for. We know what they want to find when they come to a destination. So how can we help be part of that narrative and part of that conversation to be able to have our community not just serve its residents so well, but also serve those that want to come here and then maybe become future residents or however that might work for us. Future Spartans maybe, what that could look like when people come here for a big event that we host called Odyssey of the Mind. Brings 8,000 students to campus. Maybe they went to a Lugnuts game while they were here, and that helped them then understand that how our community works, and they liked it, and maybe they eventually come back here for another reason, for employment or something else that is presented to them. So we do work hand in hand more so than ever with our community. And we're proud to still be able to market and promote it. So we still do that piece as well. I think Kathleen has the greatest analogy that we are Michigan's capital city. Like we aren't just Lansing, we aren't just this region, but we represent something for the entire state of Michigan. And when they look at us as a community, as something that what we offer, then we want to be proud of it. We want everyone else to be proud of it. So we need to continue to tell that story and tell that message strongly that we are a great place to be. We are developing, we are changing and meeting the needs of our community. So how do we continuously get that message out? And we do that every day. But I'm always interested in creating new voices to help share that. So this opportunity today gives us that chance to have everyone understand the story a little bit better.
No, absolutely. I can't even go to the grocery store. I always have to have my hair done or something because I'm like, oh, I saw your show and I didn't know. I hear so many times, I didn't know that. And and I think, and maybe the timing's right too. People want to be lifted up. And there's a lot of hard news to hear and reality. There is reality right here in our region, but to have a moment in time where we can celebrate good things that are happening, inform people. This is not smoke and mirrors. This is real stuff happening. You cannot pull into our region without seeing the signs of growth and prosperity. And I think that's just a positive all the way through. And we've come a long way, baby. I was saying, as a transplant, that when I pulled into town, there's a lot going on, but now. If I hear someone say, there's nothing to do, I pull out my cheese dancing or 517 areas and I go, really? There's something, I don't have enough hours in the day to experience everything that's happening here. And there's something for everyone. And I'm really, as I am a broken record, I love intergenerational. Probably doesn't hurt that I have a 6-year-old granddaughter, but when multiple generations can go out and enjoy one venue or a couple of venues, and we don't have to drive hundreds of miles away to do that, right?
Right. There's so many things to do and experience at any age level. I will, of course, speak to downtown, but across our city and across our region because of the work of so many fantastic partners who are coming together, setting that vision, setting that course, but then also advocating for why the capital city matters and this region matters and needs to be paid attention to, because there is excitement, there is momentum growing, but then we all have to choose to want to champion that, to continue to tell the story, to talk about kayaking on the riverfront in the evening, to shopping one of the newer boutique businesses in downtown, as well as those legacy-based businesses to enjoying a Lugnuts game, and just continuing to reintroduce people at all levels to all of the shopping, the dining, the nightlife and weekend opportunities that are continuing to grow and be cultivated in downtown Lansing and beyond.
Yeah.
Yes, and Kathleen mentioned about the story, and part of the story continues to evolve.
Yes.
Like you just said, you didn't want to say the pandemic word again, but I'm going to say it.
You said it 3 times.
Because all of this was in play a bit before the pandemic, and then we know that many of our state government workers have not come back, and that's how their new business model is working. However, all of these plans were not taking that into account. We needed more housing downtown. We needed more activities for our own community and for that, and we needed to reposition a little bit. And so Kathleen's team has done that amazing job of doing the strategic visioning and finding out the resources and how this comes together, and developers are seeing that as well. So,
Well, and it's a smart business practice, right? If I over rely on one client and that client is gone, then that there goes the business. And I think that's sometimes bad things push us to do things. But as you said, these things were started. Yes, the state worker they're not come back in force, but hey, you already put a strategy in place, and there are people all over. There's lines for lunch. There's life in downtown and throughout our great region. And thank you, Kathleen and Julie, for being our great ambassadors for downtown Lansing and for the greater Lansing region. I appreciate you.
It's our pleasure. Thank
thank
you.
you.
Hello everyone, my name is Tolulope Adedoku of University of Michigan Health Sparrow. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. It is crucial that everyone have access to a primary care physician. I'm not the only one that thinks this either. University of Michigan Health Sparrow also knows how important it is for people to schedule quick and convenient appointment times with their doctor. Today joining us is Dr. Greg Holzai, and he's here to talk about our primary physician network. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So why do you feel like University of Michigan Sparrow feels so passionately about access to healthcare?
It is so very important for our patients to have a primary care provider, so that provider can identify health conditions early on in the course of a disease process and thereby prevent worsening symptoms or complications for those patients.
That makes complete sense. So what are you doing in particular to help with healthcare access?
So we have realized that patients require care at all hours of the day. So as a result, patients can now schedule an appointment online through the portal, their MyChart portal, and additionally, our providers are offering extended hours, which consist of hours prior to 8 a.m. or after 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
So in addition to this, there's an innovative access clinic opening up soon. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Correct. We're very excited to be opening our access clinic, which will be located at the Okemos Jolly Road practice later this fall. The access clinic is intended for those patients who do not yet have a primary care provider, however have some urgent care needs. The providers at the clinic will be able to provide health care and follow up for those patients until they're able to get established with a permanent primary care home.
Thank you, Dr. Holzai.
CATA's Regional Mobility Solutions makes a difference in our community. Hear what riders and community leaders have to say about the value CATA delivers to the capital city area.
My name is Fonda Brewer, and I am a Delta Township trustee. And I have been in the Delta Township area for 20 some odd years. I can recall going to a restaurant and having dinner with my mom before she passed away, and there was this gentleman there who I just happened to say hello to because he tapped me and said, "Today's my birthday." And so I said, "Okay." And I said, "Great, and how are you spending your day?" And what he shared with me is that he takes 2 CATA buses every day. And he transfers from downtown Lansing out here to Delta Township, and he would come here every day for lunch so that he could get the ice cream. So he inspired me so much and reminded me this is why I serve, because I can meet people like him who could go anywhere and could get there any way he knew how, but he uses CATA. Every single day for over 20 years, he does this daily. I hear from constituents all the time about what CATA is doing, especially like in my area with E-Tran and how it's partnering and offering expanded services That's just huge for people here. There are people here that don't have a car. Creating more mobility options for people. That's what it's all about. Because CATA is about family and people and movement, not about lines and borders.
I'm Julie Thomasmo, CEO at Child and Family Charities, and today with me I have Dumpna Kokorian. She is our Senior Development Director at Child and Family, and please tell us about the fundraising program at Child and Family Charities. We have a lot to do in the community, and there's probably a lot more to it than people realize.
You know, that's true. A lot of people don't realize what goes into fundraising, but they may be a part of it. So our fundraising programs initially begin with marketing our programs to the community and to those who might be potential funders, but also to our clients so that they know we're here. But that marketing aspect is very important. And then we also put on events, and we have mailing, we have social media posts. We try all different avenues in order to reach people with our message so they know what we're doing and why we're doing it. Our fundraising efforts also include in-kind donations, so that's gifts of goods, and we also try to make sure that all of our programs have what they need in order to succeed.
Well, right now we know that sustainable funding has become more important than ever. So tell us about that and kind of what are we doing to make sure that we can be there for the community for years to come?
Well, Julie, one of the most important things is that we get local support. So our program is trying to focus on corporate support so that we have corporations matched with some of our programs or our service areas, such as Jackson, that supports our Gateway Youth Housing Services. There's such a strong support of that program, and it really helps us make that program as with the outcomes as good as they are. And also with sustainable funding, we need to have individuals who are willing to donate to our agency either monthly or annually. We put on breakfasts, and we have a breakfast coming up, and they can come and they can donate to us.
So I have Ray Newhan with me today from Allen Edwin Homes. Ray, I'm so happy that you could join me.
Yes.
I want to talk quickly about the lack of inventory that we have, and what are you guys doing as a builder to fix that for us?
So one thing we're doing is we're trying to add as much inventory as possible. To give you a quick figure, we build around 1,000 homes per year. 80%, I'll say it again, 80% of those homes are quick move-in homes. So homes that we're building to help flood the inventory or the market with inventory.
Nice. And you know, I will say as a real estate broker in the area, it's very nice to be able to take a buyer that I've been working with into one of your homes. I can put it right into the mix of their purchasing experience. Talk to me a little bit about the realtor relationship as far as the consumer is concerned.
Yep. One of my favorite parts about working with Allen Edwin is their realtor relationships. They really understand that you guys are the ones advocating for buyers, families that are buying houses, and so we set it up no matter what. Our price never changes if someone has a realtor. In fact, we encourage families to use realtors so that they feel comfortable bringing realtors into the mix.
Nice, nice. And you know, that is very obvious with the communication with your realtor counterparts, and it really raises the comfort level with the client. So one last question I have for you. What would you want a consumer that's kicking around building a home, what is the one thing that you want them to do as they start that process?
It's easy, it's affordable, and it's achievable. We have affordable homes in the marketplace. We're helping families buy down their interest rate to help with monthly payments. We're partnering with lenders, and if you thought about it even for a second, you should reach out to a realtor to connect us so that we can look into the opportunity.
Get with Ray at Allen Edwin and call him today with questions.
Hi, I'm Deanna East, and I'm with Michigan State University Extension. Here with me today is Tanner Dare, who is an MSU Extension educator with our health programs. So, hi Tanner.
Hi.
Tanner, you're here to talk about something that we don't get enough of, which is sleep. Can you tell us more about why sleep is so important?
Yeah, absolutely. So sleep is something that everyone does, but sometimes we don't really think about our sleep until we're not getting enough of it. So scientists are still trying to figure out why we need sleep, but we know that there's a lot of really important processes that happen while we sleep. So things like muscle repair, gene expression, and toxic byproducts from our brain kind of get flushed out during sleep. We also know that sleep problems are linked to the 10 leading causes of death. So we know that sleep is really important for our health, and we kind of feel it in the morning when we wake up and we know, oh, I just didn't get enough sleep last night.
That's for sure. So how much sleep does somebody actually need?
Yeah, so that's a question that is different for every person. So we know that newborns spend most of their time sleeping, up to about 14 hours a day. The parents are probably sleeping less during that time. But as we get older, we tend to need a little bit less sleep. And as adults, the official recommendation is to get about 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night.
So what do you recommend for somebody who may not get enough sleep?
Yeah, so I would recommend coming to one of our sleep programs. We meet once a week for 6 weeks. They're 30-minute sessions. We discuss new sleep topics in each program, and we go over a new sleep goal. So we actually set goals for our sleep that are individual to us, what we want to accomplish, and then we regroup at the next meeting and wrap it up.
Well, thank you very much, Tanner. And thank you for joining us to learn more about MSU Extension programs.
Hi, today we're here with John Person, the chair of the International Grants Committee for the Rotary Club of Lansing Foundation. John, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the international grants and how you select the projects?
Sure. We're part of Rotary International, so as that, we have the same focus areas of health, clean water, education, and the things that they focus on as an international organization.
Sure. Okay. Can you talk a little more about some of the projects that you're currently funding through the International Grants Committee?
Sure. Our grants usually come through our members. For example, one of them, we had a member that was in the Peace Corps in Togo, West Africa. So she still has contacts there and brought us an organization called Peace Sisters. And they do education for young ladies. Secondary education is not free in much of Africa. So we fund some fees, uniforms, books, that sort of thing, to support those young ladies. And the uniform thing is important too, because if they don't have appropriate dress, they're not comfortable going to school.
That is so true. That's
Through
so
that, yeah, they get an opportunity for education they would not otherwise have.
Very good. Is there anything else you want to share about international grants?
Sure. We have a great one going right now with MSU students, and they're doing some microloans in Colombia, Nicaragua, and they do some microloans, lend some money to get people to start a business, like buy a sewing machine, that sort of thing.
Very good.
So,
such important
yeah.
work. Thank you so much for being here today, John.
Wow, what another great show and another reason to discover Greater Lansing. So many wonderful things happening in our great, great community. From living, working, and playing, we've got it right here in Greater Lansing. Thanks for joining us.